We'll have the prayer and the pledge. May the God known to each of us provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our post of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order for Tuesday, August 6th. Council members, you have minutes from July 16th before you. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept as presented.
I second it.
There's a motion to approve the minutes from July 16th and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is public comments. We have a few folks signed to speak this evening. John Spradling, 1124 Main Street. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, we have a real deer problem in this town. You can't have anything in your yard to eat up your flowers, your tomato plants. You can't drive around town at night and fear hitting one. You need to get hold of the governor and see what they can do about it. Those deer belong to the state of West Virginia. And they weren't down here till 1969, the first deer I ever saw in Cabell County. They stocked those things in here. Used to be years ago, if you hit one on the road, they paid to fix your car, the state did. Well, I've got so many accidents with deer they couldn't afford to fix them. But they need to come and tranquilize them and haul them to some place where there are no deer and stock them there. They need to get some of them out of here. I mean, you can see 8 or 10 go down the street in front of my house one night. They jump a fence at the front and come in and eat what they want. I put an electric fence between me and Mike McClung. They stop there. They go around where the cars are parked and jump that fence, and they just devoured everything the other night. Pepper plants, tomato plants, flowers, I mean. They're getting to be a real nuisance.
I would agree. You have about half who don't like them, half who do. You got people who feed them as well. They are a nuisance. I agree with that.
Well, you need to get hold of the governor and see what we can do about it.
Appreciate your comments, sir. Anything else?
No.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Brianna Bowen, Cabell County Public Library.
Hi, Brianna Bowen. I think I've met a lot of you. I've been here before. I'm with the Cabell County Public Library, the Barboursville Library. I don't have stats. I'm not here to ask you for anything, which is great. I just want to say thank you so much. You all know that we have had a tough year at the library. It has been quite frankly, an awful 15 months. And I wanted to say many of you have reached out to either me or to Linda or the Barboursville Library staff, and I wanted to say thank you so much for supporting the library. Last year, when everything went crazy, you all gave the library $10,000, and it meant so much to us, especially, you know, in the time to know that that gesture came our way. It meant the world to us. It meant the world to Linda and her team. And we just got your check for this year for the $10,000. So thank you for supporting us. Mayor Tatum has reached out and he's been there every step of the way. Many of you have contacted us, and that's all I wanted to say is just say thank you so much. It truly, and I'm not just saying it, it means a lot to us. So thank you for the continued support of the library.
Thank you for being here. I know how important that library is to the town and the kids that go there. You guys have so much programming, and it is such an important part of the village, so we appreciate you guys too. That's an easy thing to support when you guys do such a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Jacob Mitchell, 703 Water Street. You have the floor, sir.
I was asked today to ask you about a program that you used to have. A couple of elderly ladies in the village. I helped a lady over on Nash Street and a lady on Lee Street. One's in her mid to late 80s, the other is 94, and I guess you all used to have a program where you could reach out to like the trash or the public works, and if they needed help carrying it to the curb, or if they needed help like basically calling in and saying, hey, can you pull my trash cans from my house to the curb and back for me? And you all would do it. And they've asked me if that program is still in existence, if maybe put something out in the newsletter about it, or post something just to clarify that it is still there so they can call. Because if that's something that we do offer in the village, I think it'd be an awesome service that we should get out there. And because this one woman, God love her, she's 94 and she's as stubborn as they come, and if she had it her way, she'd push her own trash to the curb. but luckily she has a neighbor that's very helpful. So, but yeah, if you all have that program still in place, please let everyone know, because there's a lot of your old, elderly people that really could use it. That's all.
Tell them to give us a call. Thank you for being here. Department updates you have in your packets. Is there any questions for department heads in terms of the workload or anything that's been going on? Actually, Danny's out of town, so if you have anything, shoot me a text or email, we'll get that back to him. They've been super busy, it's been super hot, and they've still been getting work done, so I wanna make sure we pass that along to Public Works and Street Department as well. And, we'll get right into old business. The consideration of approval for award to paving St. Andrews Point. I read straight from the agenda last time, and it's I said St. Andrews Drive, which is considerably longer than St. Andrews Point. And I think Donnie's was like, they're gonna pave that for that little amount of money? Then I realized after we had left why you thought that way. So to clarify, I don't remember who made the motion last time, but to clarify, we'll vote to pave St. Andrews Point, which is at the top of Deer Creek and heads out towards Mr. Kane's house and the new construction. So to correct that, I'll entertain a motion to pave and award that bid for St. Andrews Point.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? I'll apologize because I knew what I was thinking, but I read straight from paper too, so my apologies. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Into new business. Consideration of approval of the annual recycling program invoice from Cabot County Solid Waste Authority in the amount of $13,560.48. This is the same amount that we had last year. There's no increase in our billing for the recycling program, which, as you know, is free to residents. So I'll entertain a motion to, for the invoice for $13,560.48.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is consideration of approval for entry into a one-year contract with Argo Navis Technologies for managed cybersecurity services at a cost of $28.82 per device per month. I'm gonna let Joe, our IT director, speak to this.
This covers all of our personal PCs, this covers all of our switches, firewalls, things like that. Unfortunately, in today's world, we have to add this level of security on top of us. It also meets our cybersecurity insurance qualifications. They brought this to the table 2 years ago. I actually brought it to John and the mayor about 3 years ago. This is just unfortunately something that we have to do to protect the village and keep us from being other municipalities that have been hit by malware and spyware and went back to pen and paper. So we're trying to do this next level, and there's more to come. Unfortunately, there's more to come.
So the recommendation is to accept the Argo Navis Technologies for $28.82 per month per device.
I have some questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Joe, on page 17, where it says that they've never had experience with federal, state entities, or even municipalities, I assume they said that, so.
That's one of the companies that we did not score. We're not
Okay.
recommending those companies. I
Okay.
gave the full report to the council of all the scores of the 4 bids that we received.
Okay, gotcha.
So that is not who I'm recommending.
Okay, well, on the front page, it states it's $28 and something an hour. On
Per
page-
device.
Per device,
Per device.
okay.
For a year,
Thank you.
yes.
Because that was a little confusing on page 19 when it says 40K. Okay, thank you. I was just a little bit confused about that.
That's okay.
Any other questions?
We got $28.82 per device. How many devices are there
Yeah, what's our total?
total?
We done the total bid on 85 devices. I think there's less than that, but I wanted to overshoot it so that we could get a true assessment of the bids and see the prices. And just so you guys understand, when I first went at this last November, I got a price as high as $70,000 a year, and a price as low as $5,000 a year. So I had to take some time to evaluate and figure out where the best place was. And the people that I'm recommending is going to use Sentinel-1. and that is the third industry leading worldwide protector of this. The number one was the guys who just messed up and shut down the entire country. They were not even close. They were 45,000. So we're actually saving money here and getting a top tier leader for the village.
Any other questions? You have a motion yet? I'll entertain a motion to approve the Argo Navis Technologies.
I make the motion.
Motion and a second on the floor. If there is no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is consideration of approval of resolution 2024-10, approving a model agreement addendum to streamline the contract amendment process consistent with purchasing policy of the village of Barboursville. John, I'll let you speak to that, sir.
Mark Matovich is the author of this resolution, and what it's for is that there are times where we go into the purchasing process to get services, and what we've found is that companies that, for example, this when we go to talk through the contract here, this wasn't for that specifically, but we've had other contracts for services, and a lot of times the companies will put out their 100-page service agreement, and it's based out of the state in which they're run, and sometimes it doesn't agree with what municipal government is allowed to agree to. So what we're going to do is, what this will allow us to do, it'll allow us to send to the companies our Exhibit A, which is a list of the different things that only the state of West Virginia municipalities can agree to in advance of the contracts that we sometimes have to deal with. So it's just to try to simplify some of the things, because as an example, governing law. If it's now a state company that we've done business with for some type of thing, they'll almost always do it based on the laws of that state. Well, West Virginia municipalities can't agree to do any business based on the laws of another state. So those are the kind of things that are listed here. So anyway, this was something that Mark came up with after we've gone through numerous back and forths with different companies.
So the ask is to approve the resolution 2024-10 for the agreement addendum relating to purchasing policies for the village.
Accept resolution number 2024-2 as submitted.
Makes second motion.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are on to comments and closing remarks. I'll start this evening. I'll say to Joe, thank you for your diligence with the cybersecurity issue. It is changing every day, and we appreciate you protecting the network and our data. We certainly would not want to become victims of ransomware. Other entities have had to pay multiple times to get their data back, and we've been very diligent in protecting our network, so thank you. John, to you and Mark too, for the tightening up of our purchasing policies. Thanks to you guys for handling that as well. That's all I have.
Thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you for coming and just showing your appreciation, and we're more than happy to support the library. I know it's an honor to have it right here beside us, and I love my office is right facing the front of the building here, and I love seeing the kids when school starts walking over there, and my kids being some of them, and it's great to see that and how involved they can be, and so I'm glad it moved from there to right there. So thanks for coming and showing your appreciation tonight. And Joe, thank you for your doing the best of your ability, and you've been busy lately, and you're staying on top of everything, and I appreciate everything you do for the village.
Thank you, Joe. You've done a great job in trying to take care of us. I know it's hard on the changes all the time. I do want to, and I thanked him earlier, Jason McComas, I do want to put it on record that we had a situation over on Depot Street with the food trucks, and he took care of them. So he did a great job, and he handled it very diplomatic, so I appreciate that. I do want to address something that Jacob said,
Yeah.
which you all may not know, we do have a paper in the office for elderlies, but they need to sign it stating that we can come up on their property to pick up their garbage. We've had that for years, and I just wanna make sure everybody's aware of that, so. We had a great turnout last night at Davis Creek. I mean, it was just fabulous, all the kids, the teachers. I mean, it was a great turnout, and it was hot weather, but it was worth it. I mean, the school was fantastic, it's beautiful, and it was a great job. Thank you all for coming, and Bree, you've done a really good job. I appreciate everything you've done. You and Linda have done great, so thank you all.
I will say one thing before we get on to Nisha. The new superintendent, Tim Hardesty, and his family, our Barboursvillians by way of Logan, they actually lived on Blake Street for the longest time. So having Tim in that spot, he's very talented, he's very community minded, very approachable. We talked about him last night and his desire to take care of the community and serve the community. I can't say enough good about him. As soon as he took office, as soon as he took his new position, came to you guys and undid some things that should have never been done. He cares about the students, families, and the teachers, and I think he's gonna do a fantastic job. He is a welcome addition to our school.
Bless your heart, Manny, you came in with this position and then was handed a large piece of dynamite. So, kudos to you for just hanging in there with this position and believing in the library enough to stick with it so that we could see that it was taken care of correctly. Thank you very much. Joe, thank you for protecting us, because we know what's going on around other municipalities, and being proactive is always the best thing to be. School's starting, so we all need to be aware of driving safely and watching out for the kids and the school buses, and we're such privileged as the village to be able to help the schools with the resource officers, and I love being in a town that is not just proactive by words but also actions. That's it.
Ladies of the library, thank you for coming. Me being of older generation, till about a few months ago, maybe weeks ago, did I realize what the library does offer. You know, and it's nobody's fault but my own for not asking more questions, but my grandkids informed me what all they knew what the library does have to offer. But makes me feel embarrassed to say that I didn't know until a few weeks ago. My grandsons, they tell me, if Dad, Papa, just go over and get a library card. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. We'll get a library card. And I didn't realize that. It's still 3 or 4 weeks away after time. I still haven't been over there, but I apologize for that. But I'll make it over soon to get a library card. But sometimes us older generation people, maybe me not being inquisitive enough to ask the questions what the public library does have. Because when I was a young man, you got a library card, you got a book, you checked it out, you went home, read it, took it back. But today there's so much technology that you guys have to offer. But thank you.
Rick, you need to get a card and check out the Libby Act.
Okay.
It's awesome. The Libby Act is amazing. I'm all about it.
We should have brought employment applications.
Yeah.
But it's, I'm embarrassed, but sometimes I don't know how to reach some of the older generation, but I'm not that old, but still, because I'm just used to check out a book, get your card, if you're late, they send you 10 cents, I think it's 10 cents or whatever it was for being late bringing your book back. But anyway, so thank you guys. And Joe, thank you. I know Joe's helped me out when I first came on board over at computers, whatever, but it's a big job. And it takes a lot of time. You guys this cyber stuff it's not good. But it is dangerous. You know, and all the information these other people can get, but I want to say thank you also.
Got a question. I don't know if we know the answers or not since Danny's not around, but so the sidewalk project, did they have an end date? Was there a time frame they had to finish that by?
All we did was put our 20% into that.
Right.
That's
I know we
contracted
weren't
by the
truly
state.
the
I
head
think
of
it's
this.
I think it's a late summer, early fall. Certainly not gonna be done by the first day of school. We're 8 days away, I think. What we had originally hoped was for Fall Fest. I don't know that that's going to happen, or they might have a portion of it done by then, but I don't know that there was a time frame in that from the state contractor.
Okay. I knew, since we weren't the head of that. that, we might not have any true, okay, sounds good. And then street lights in town, I just noticed the other day and had some other complaints, there's multiple out. Do we need a specific poll number for those?
There is a poll number, but the chief's, some of his guys.
I know they normally do reported, so,
But
Payton
you
Street
know
caught my
where they
attention
are.
the other day, if they could just maybe take a look at Payton Street, it's that bad in the town anyways.
Yeah, I understand. Bad season.
You've been shooting them out? I think 3 of them are right in front of his house. Yeah.
I did get a new slingshot.
As far as the library goes, I'm just glad that we are in a position that we can support you all as much as we do and can. So definitely something to be proud of here in town, and glad to have y'all here for sure. Appreciate what y'all do. Joe, everybody said they're happy you're doing your best, but I think I want better out of you. Appreciate what you do. Thanks for looking out and going through all these numbers and getting that to us. So hopefully that helps the system. And as far as that goes, we'll just continue to re-up that now. That we'll put that in the budget moving forward.
It's in the budget.
We allocated.
Okay, we already did include that.
Process,
Okay.
and it's allocated already, but we didn't really wanna do more than 1 year.
On purpose.
Okay.
We done a 1-year contract just to see if this was the fit for the village
Okay.
with the price point. I mean, because there's so many flavors out there. So if this one does work and we sign a longer term agreement after this 1 year, the price will go down.
Okay.
But if we need to switch, then we're only allocated to this for 12 months.
Okay. Sounds great. Appreciate you. Thanks for everyone being here.
All right, well, Patrick, you stole my thunder. Joey, you can always give 110%, and say that 100 that everybody's giving you credit for. Thank you, you guys do a great job, Police Department. You guys are awesome place to live, and thank you for everybody to come. Nice to have visitors at the meeting, and you know, some really good points, John. You know, absolutely true. Deer are everywhere around this town. There's unfortunately no easy answers. The only seems like an easy answer now that we had, you know, that we were called Skunkville forever. If anybody remember that? You know, now, you know, I haven't heard of a skunk in town for a long time, but maybe the skunks were keeping out the deer. I'm not sure. But anyway, Rick, they'll let you in the library without a library.
Well, they will. I thought I'd have a library card. Thank you. You helped me, okay?
It doesn't come with a scan bar.
He's leading me in the right direction.
But no, just a couple real quick things. Has there been any consideration, and you know, Patrick had mentioned about the school and the traffic and the sidewalk project? Is there, because you know, is there still going to be 1-lane traffic during the school times? Do you know, or anything?
You mean for Farmdale Road?
Yes, from Dale Road.
They're gonna do traffic control as long as they're working beside the road.
It's going to be pretty rough. I mean, you know, there's not going to be a entrance or exit and going out of town. It's not going to be congested. You know, bad.
Oh, Farmdale, well,
Not just Farmdale, but Peyton as well.
So the DOH on, we talked about this the other day, Chief and I did, and Danny too. There'll be representatives from DOH on the first day of school, and they're gonna monitor the traffic out in Riverview Drive to make sure the light's been timed correctly, make sure the traffic's flowing, but they have two lanes for stacking on the property. And with their enrollment, I think what, Tim Hardesty, or I don't remember, was it Coop? I don't remember who it was, but since their enrollment's so small, they feel like Riverview's not gonna be clogged up because they've got 2 rows to stack and let kids out, and the bus lane is dedicated to just the front of the school. So parents go around the right, the back of the property, and then back down 2 lanes to drop off. But they're gonna monitor that, the chief and his guys are gonna monitor that and get this down to a science like we finally did every year.
Okay, so the school is probably also built for growth and that kind of thing,
And that, just the other thing too, the railroad crossing that is on the Peyton Street side, they're gonna have a perimeter fence, 12 feet perimeter fence, so there will be no parent will be able to drop off on the Peyton Street side. It'll only be used for first response or emergency situations.
Okay, and the last thing is, and Paula stole my thunder on this one, but about Jacobs, that I think that I think we have always had, you know, Mayor, you had said, you know, have them give us a
Yeah,
call.
we
Well, I
have
can
to.
elaborate on that a little bit. I think that's always been in place. If they give us a call, we will,
Take it
we've
forward to
always
them. We can take
accommodated
it forward to them.
those in need
Okay.
that need a little extra help and that kind of thing.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, that's not a new, it's always been there, but, thank you for bringing it up again, cause you know, every now and then, time goes by and things get forgotten about, so. You know, that's all I got.
We'll get your garbage when you get in that shape too. Don't worry.
Thank you. That might be soon.
One other thing I did want to say before you adjourn the meeting, we did meet earlier this evening in a work session for the purpose of, talking about comprehensive planning for the city. Very informative. We've got some work in front of us, as does the planning commission, but I was, pleased with the presentation that we got from the land use clinic from Western University. And I want to say thanks to Lacey and Mark for working that out and getting them here, get us the information we've been asking for a while, so thank you. If there's nothing else to come before the meeting, yes
One
ma'am.
more thing, I
Yes,
thought of when
ma'am.
you were talking, I
Yep.
wanted to say, I mentioned the city and council and you, that we have, thank God we haven't had a lot, but, there's been a few instances where the library has had to contact the police, and you all and your team has been phenomenal. You've been great to deal with, you're really responsive, you're great with the ladies, so, of all the people here who are cut your checks, I wanted to say thank you.
I will
That's
pass
it.
that along. They are great.
Yeah.
They are great.
Well, we'll try to keep Donnie out of
there you
there. He's target.
Check his card before you go there.
Yeah, check his card.
We're concentrated on Peyton
Don, did you have
Street.
something else, sir?
Yes, there is a way to get the governor's attention on this deer problem. It's called a class action lawsuit. These deer belong to the state of West Virginia and they're causing damage. And if everybody get together and file a lawsuit against the state, they'd have to do something with it. You know, it's not gonna get any better. Y'all having a deer hunt out there and that's not helping at all. I mean, they're multiplying like crazy.
Well, our deer, the total kill was less than 10 in most instances, so they really were not taking that many out of the population, even when we were having the deer hunt.
Now, there's about 20 of them around the veterans home up there. They stay in them woods back there. I mean, they're out of control.
I appreciate the comments this evening. Thanks for being here. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the meeting, for the good of the order? If not, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks everybody for coming.